What's up out there? I have another update for my Behemoth Cyclone build, but this build is basically coming to, I don't want to say an end, but it's basically reached about the best that I can ever do with it. Now, typically in a league, I will beat the Eater, the Exarch, I'll get the Maven 10-way done, and then I'll probably start doing some of these boss fights. I've done all that. I had a video the other day with the Exarch fight and the Maven 10-way. I've now beaten the Eater. I got that one done. So we are golden on that. And this is pretty much with these boss fights here, this is pretty much where every league or where I get to every league. So this build is kind of winding down. I've got this build to tinker around with and have fun with and do, the destructive play and try to get some awakened void stones and stuff or awakened gemstones and maybe try the Maven fight. I don't know. I've never beaten the Maven. I don't think this build is going to do the Maven fight that well, but it is an option that I have. And basically this one is kind of coming to an end. So before we look at the changes that I've made to this build, I wanted to throw out an offer to you guys and see if you guys are interested. If you are, drop a comment below with a skill and one of the Legacy of Frisia Ascendancies. And in the next couple of days, if I get enough, votes on one or get enough suggestions, I'll pick one from one of those, or I'll pick one for myself. Not sure what I want to do yet. I had a list of all the ascendancies and I started writing some skills down for them, but some of the ideas that I had, I've tried and they didn't work out very well. There's a few of them I tried. The Harbinger Cyclone one I was going to do. It was too early on. I tried league starting that stupidly and I shouldn't have. I mean, it might be better today, but I thought about that one. I thought about an Exsanguinate build on something. I don't remember what it was, but it didn't really work out the way I thought it was going to work out. And I've tried a few other ones. I have that Ice Crash build that I put together. That one was kind of fun. I kind of dismantled it and put it into a Cyclone build. I'm like on this big Cyclone kick. But if you have an idea for just the skill and just the ascendancy, drop it down below. I'm terrible with minions. I don't understand minions all that well. I don't really get them very far. I've tried a few, I've tried a few of them. They just don't work out very well. Something like Absolution might work out, but things like skeletons and stuff like that, I don't figure out all that well. But I would be interested in trying something that is, I don't want a POB. I'm not looking for the meta builds. I'm looking for something that's a little bit off the wall, a little bit weird. Hey, when I saw this ascendancy, the first skill I thought of was that. Something along those lines. I had a list of skills or list of those that I wanted to try, but either like the Bone Shatter one that I saw, I think it was on the Ancestral Commander. Somebody's already done that. So I don't really want to copy somebody else's stuff, but I'd be interested if you guys had any kind of weird ideas or something like that, throw it down below. And then I'll try to pick something out and just make a build from it. So I'd have to start from scratch, take the ascendancy, take the skill, and then try to figure out how to make it do something. So at any rate, if you're interested, drop a comment below and let's dive into the changes on this build. I actually leveled up to 94 the other day, so I've got that done. And what I did with that extra point was come over here into Armor Mastery and pick this up because everything I've got has armor in it. So I get an extra 1% Ellie res. And I have 77% resistances. I don't know why I'm up to 77. I honestly don't have any idea. It must have picked it up. There must be something coming in somewhere that I don't remember, which is, my memory's terrible, so that's not, maybe it's coming in down here, I'm not sure. But this is the only one that I know that I've actually picked up for an additional 1% all Ellie res, so I'm getting one from somewhere else. I don't know, wherever it's coming from, don't know, don't care, but I am. So I made that change. Otherwise, the passive tree is completely the same. Now, what the big difference is that I have is I've actually finished the craft on my axe and I got my 6 link. So those are huge and those are done. So I was running just an endless amount of, Beyond, Delirium. I throw some Abyss in there, some Harvest, and I was just throwing all kinds of stuff in there. I have a combination of idols where I can get followers of Gore in the Beyond monsters, drop extra uniques. I was trying to get uniques. I was trying to get scouting reports and all that stuff. And I was just getting sick of it. I think it's been like a week and a half solid of just running nothing but that kind of content trying to get the Coward's Trial to drop, and I just could not do it. I had Kirok missions lined up, and I would get scouting reports. Every scouting report I got, I would re-roll it, because sometimes you'll get a unique map in there, sometimes you don't, but sometimes you do. I just couldn't get it. So I said, you know what, I'm sick of this, and I went into King's March, and I got the currency exchange unlocked, so I've now got that done. And that afforded me the ability to buy some stuff. So the first thing I did was bought scouting reports. I went over to Kirok and I rolled like 15 or 16 scouting reports. The one unique map that I did get, because I still need two. I still need to get the Twilight Temple one and the Putrid Cloister. I don't have those yet at all. But the one map that I needed is the one map that I got. So I went in and did the Coward's Trial, knocked that out, got my crafting recipe. And I took this axe. This axe had 3 suffixes that I didn't want to deal with. It gained 3 mana per enemy killed, 32% global critical strike multiplier, and I think there was a global crit chance or something like that. There's 2 crits in this 1 mana, and I can't use those. So I was like, well, I don't want any of those. Well, the problem is, and I've never used lock prefixes or suffixes, or if I have, it was so long ago I don't remember. I didn't realize you had to have an open spot in your suffix or prefix to actually apply that. So I had all that filled, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to break this axe, so I unequipped this, and I left this one on while I worked on this axe, and I ended up crafting this one up. I don't remember if it was already crafted and I just added some things on, or if I had to change anything. I don't remember exactly how I did it. But I got this one, even though this was actually better than this one when before I got the attack speed on the one that I'm using now. Like, I started with this one, I messed with this one. This is a little lower item level, so I didn't want to brick this one. So I worked on this one, got this one better, used it for a slight bit, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll go get some annuls, because this was a better axe than this one. And all right, I've got 2 that are decent. And if I'm not going to brick this one. So I ran an annul on this one, came back to the one that I was using, and it fortunately did not drop the stuff that I needed it to drop. It fortunately did drop the one that I needed to go. I just needed one of the suffixes to go, and it dropped a suffix. I was so worried about losing any of the prefixes. The cold damage I could have done without, but the flat fizz and the 134% increased fizz damage with chance to impale, I didn't want to lose either one of those. Anything else could have gone. Actually, I think I needed to have a suffix go away. So I ended up taking the chance, boom, got it. But in the course of buying all the currency and rolling this one, I used up I think I had 4 or 5 divines, and those are all gone. So I don't have those anymore. I was like, well, that sucks. Can't do anything, because now I don't have the divines to craft on this one. So I'm walking back over here to drop it back off in my bank. And then it dawned on me, I was like, wait a minute, there's an attack speed modifier you can get from crafting. So here we go. Crafted it on. It crafted in at 20% increased attack speed right out of the gate. Everything was lining up. So I've got this axe, and we got some other changes to talk about, but I think I'm getting between 600 and I think it's 680,000 DPS just as the build is currently. When all the rampage builds up, I'm getting about 700 and something. I think it goes up by about 90,000 DPS. So we're looking at, say, between 680 and 800,000 DPS. Ballpark figure, that's somewhere once everything's ramped up and ready to go. I get about 90,000 DPS or so off of the rampage. The next thing I did was bought a stack of fusing so that I could 6-link this thing. So that's done. And then I sat down and I had to rework a few things. So I had to redo this jewel socket, or this searching eye jewel. I needed additional strength and int because I just don't have enough without something in here to fix, I just don't have enough int to run infused channeling. So I re-rolled this thing, and the interesting thing about this thing, I didn't notice it until I was looking at it today. I've got 4,600 life, and I don't remember how I got there because the last thing I remember was about 43, 44, 45, something like that. This thing here with plus 29 to max life, that takes me from 4306 up to 4626. So I got a nice little buff because I needed this to get strength and, well, int. I didn't need the strength on it, but I needed the int. I needed the int, and I wanted to get some max life on there. So I put that on, and man, I got a big stack of life out of that. I thought that was pretty cool. That's a good chunk of life. I mean, it's only 300, but that bumps, I'm getting really close to 5,000 life. That's one of the higher lives that I've had in any of the builds that I've ever made. So I re-rolled that, and that lets me equip this infused channeling support and upgrade it because now I have 75 int, so we can actually get this upgraded. Now, the interesting thing about infused channeling, and I noticed it when I was looking at POB yesterday, when you hit level 19, you have the maximum damage that you're going to get. Deals 29% more damage. I don't know why. I guess a quality, I could take less damage from hits and stuff like that. It didn't seem like there was much of a reason to put quality on it or to level it up past 19, but I guess the less damage from hits would be definitely would be nice. But for some reason, once you get level 19, going up to level 20 doesn't make it do more damage. So 29% is the best. So all I really need is 67 int, and then I'm done. I don't need to have anything beyond that, I guess is what I'm trying to say with this whole thing. So I've got this thing 6 linked, which we now have, of course, Pulverize, Brutality, and Melee Fizz with Impale and Cyclone. So all of this is done. I ended up ripping out that Fall Cyclone. The next big brilliant idea that I had was to level up this Cyclone to 20 quality, get it all up to quality. And then same thing with this Brutality. This one's almost done, and this Melee Fizz damage is almost done. What I wanted to do with these is roll a Vol Orb on all 3 of these, and actually, well, Conk Effect is sitting there, but I wanted to run a Vol Orb on all these and see if I could get a 2120 and then swap some of this stuff out and get a little bit more damage out of that. So I'm going to work on that too. But that, I think, is pretty much all the changes that I made. Yeah, that's it. And with all of these changes, I took the Eater down. He was such an easy fight. I don't know why I struggled with it the other day. Apparently adding more damage because I guess I added a little bit of, I don't think I added the resistance. I don't remember if I added the resistance, the +1 all res before or after fighting the Eater. To be honest with you, I don't remember if I got that level up before or not. I think I did get the level up because I wouldn't have fought him without it. But anyway, yeah. So we're doing great. Eater's down, Exarch's down, Maven 10-Way's done, working on these bosses. This thing's doing some decent damage. I'm not dying I am dying, but I'm not dying a crazy amount. There's I don't remember there's the one boss that shoots those red beams down that shuts off your healing and stuff like that. There's that thing. There's the one, I can't remember what map it's on, but I know when I see it, there's a few bosses that are like, I cannot defeat them. I can beat them if I try over and over again, but I have like a special weakness to them. They're definitely my kryptonite. The one guy that throws those light beams down that stops you from regenerating or whatever, that thing kills me. And then there's some weird like priest or whatever, and I can't remember what map it's on. I know whenever I get to it, I'm like, dude, I don't want to fight this guy. Dodre, I usually don't do well against either. But all that said, I'm getting through these fights and everything's going well. And this is a build without any spells or auras or anything. This is just straight up, here's the build. We're going to go kill stuff. And I could probably get better gear on everything in here for sure. And I think in the last video also, I mentioned that I didn't know where I was getting Onslaught from. I forgot about this Searching Eye Jewel socket with this Tomb Fist. If you have a Searching Eye Jewel socket socketed, you have a 25% chance to grant Onslaught on kills. So that's where I was getting my Onslaught from. I knew I still had it somewhere. I just didn't remember where it was at. There's so many different places to squirrel everything away on these builds. But at any rate, yeah, moving right along. So if you have any suggestions or anything for a skill gem and a ascendancy combination, drop them down below. I'm pretty happy with this build. This has far exceeded my expectations. When you say you can't have magic and you can't use spell, or basically can't use spells or can't do damage with spells, can't even have spells running. You would think this build couldn't get very far. Can it beat the Maven? I don't know, maybe somebody better than me, but I'm not able to at this point. I don't have the knowledge to go from where I'm at now to beating the Maven. That's something I need to work on, maybe some awakened gems or something, I don't know. I still haven't figured this part out, but otherwise I've made it as far as I can with this build, as far as I make it with any of the builds that I've ever done. But I'm very pleased with this, and like I said, it's kind of getting to the end of it. So if you have a suggestion for anything to try, drop it down below. And that is going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.